أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Lesson number 164, Surah Al-Anbiya. Let's continue our lesson. وَكَمْ قَصَبْنَا مِنْ قَرْيَةٍ, and how many a city we have destroyed, we have shattered. Which city? كَانَتْ ظَالِمَةً, which was unjust. قَصَمْنَا from the root letters قَا, صَاد, ميم. And قَصَمَ يَقْصُمُ is to break something into pieces. It is to shatter and destroy. Think about it. Many times, things are broken in order to be destroyed. Isn't it so? Things are broken down in order to be destroyed. And sometimes you break things out of rage, out of anger. It is said, قَصَمَ اللَّهُ ظَهْرَ الظَّالِمِ, that may Allah shatter, may Allah break the back of the oppressor. Meaning may Allah completely destroy him. So when something is shattered, when something is broken to pieces, it's completely destroyed. You cannot put it back together. Can you? No. Like for example, imagine a vase that is made of crystal. It falls to the ground, it shatters to pieces. Can you put all the pieces together? No. Whereas if a table, if one leg breaks, maybe you can fix that. But if something is completely shattered to pieces, there is no way of putting it back together. It's a useless activity. So وَكَمْ قَصَمْنَا مِنْ قَرْيَةٍ, how many a city we have completely destroyed. كَانَتْ ظَالِمَةً, that was ظالمة, meaning the people of that city were unjust. How? By committing kufr, by committing shirk. وَأَنْشَأْنَا, and we produced بَعْدَهَا, after it, قَوْمًا آخَرِينَ, other people. Meaning so many nations of the past have gone. They have been destroyed. Their buildings have been demolished. And their belongings, they have been inherited by who? By the generations who came after them. In Surah Al-Isra, ayah number 17, we learn, وَكَمْ أَهْلَكْنَا مِنَ الْقُرُونِ مِنْ بَعْدِ نُوحٍ وَكَفَى بِرَبِّكَ بِذُنُوبِ عِبَادِهِ خَبِيرًا بَصِيرًا. And how many have we destroyed from the generations after Nuh alayhi salam. And sufficient is your Lord concerning the sins of His servants, as acquainted and seeing. So all that they gathered, all that they amassed in this life, what happened to it? It went into the hands of later people. وَأَنْشَأْنَا بَعْدَهَا قَوْمًا آخَرِينَ. Other people were produced after them. فَلَمَّا أَحَسُّوا بَأْسَنَا, and when they perceived our punishment. Who? The people of the town that were punished by Allah. That before being punished, when they perceived the punishment, when they sensed it. Ahassu from hiss. And hiss is what? Sense. And ahassa is to feel something, to perceive something through one's senses. Like for example, you can hear someone approaching. You can see someone coming. You can smell something. So ahassa is to perceive something through one's senses. To find something through one's senses. So when they perceived our punishment, meaning when they sensed its arrival, when they realized that it's close, it's here, whether they saw it coming or they heard its sound, they saw its approaching signs, إِذَا هُمْ, then at once they were, minha, from it, meaning from that punishment, or from that qaryah, from their homes, from their cities, يَرْكُضُونَ, they were fleeing, they were running away. Yarkudun is from the root letters Ra, Kaf, Dad. And riqd is to run quickly. It's basically used for the galloping of a horse. Literally the word means to hit a horse on the side. Why? In order to make it run faster. In order to make it gallop. So إِذَا هُمْ مِنْهَا يَرْكُضُونَ, at once they fled from their homes. They fled from their city hastily. Why? In order to save their lives. The same homes that they were so occupied in, that they loved so much, that were so dear to them. لَاهِيَةً قُلُوبُهُمْ, because of those very homes. What happened when the punishment came? When death came? They ran away from those very places. They left them. They abandoned them. But what were they told? لَا تَرْكُضُوا, do not flee. The angel said to them at that time, in reproach, that do not flee at this point. There is no use. وَارْجِعُوا, and return إِلَى مَا أُتْرِفْتُمْ فِيهِ, to where you were given luxury. وَمَسَاكِنِكُمْ, and to your homes. Go back to the places where you're given so much luxury, and go back to your homes. Why? لَعَلَّكُمْ تُسْأَلُونَ, so that you can be questioned, so that you can be interrogated, so that you can be given your recompense. Return, go back home. إِلَى مَا أُتْرِفْتُمْ. Utriftum is from the root letter istarafa. And itraf is tana'um and taladdud. It is when a person has been given many, many blessings, and he has also been given the enjoyment of blessings. That it's not that he has a lot, but he also gets to enjoy them. He also gets to use them. So, إِلَى مَا أُتْرِفْتُمْ فِيهِ, meaning go back to the comforts that you were provided, go back to the luxuries that you used to enjoy, the wealth that you were engrossed in, that you boasted about. Why are you running away from it? Go back to it. And go back to your masakin that you loved, you owned, you were so proud of. لَعَلَّكُمْ تُسْأَلُونَ, so that you can be questioned. So at that time, their houses, their wealth, their belongings became insignificant to them. That those very homes that they loved so much, those same homes they ran away from in order to save their lives. But were they able to save their lives? No. What do we see over here? That many times a person is distracted from his purpose, from preparing for death, by what? By the blessings of this dunya. By what he has been given in the life of this dunya. But when death comes, the same things, they become meaningless. The same luxuries, they become meaningless. Which is why we see that sometimes when people are extremely ill, and even if they have to sell the most expensive things that they own, they will, so that they can pay for their treatment. They'll give up anything to get their life back, to get their health back. And when disaster strikes, for example, a tornado is coming, a flood is coming, a tsunami is coming, then those same homes that people were living in, what happens? They run away from them. What do we see? That when Alexander died, did he take anything with him? No. Was his wealth very important to him at that point? No. All his wealth, where was it left? Behind him. And when he was to be buried, what did he say? That lay me down in my coffin such that my hands are extending out, so that people can see that I'm going empty-handed. So this dunya, a person chases his entire life. But when death approaches, the same dunya becomes meaningless. It doesn't carry any value whatsoever. Think about it. All those things that distract us from our salah. All those things that distract us from fulfilling the purpose of our lives. Will they carry any value when we are being taken to our graves? Will they? No. When the angel of death comes, can we say, please take it and leave me? No. قَالُوا يَا وَيْلَنَا. They said, oh woe to us. إِنَّا كُنَّا ظَالِمِينَ. Indeed, we have been wrongdoers. At the time of death, when the punishment approached them, they confessed their sins. That, Ya waylana, oh woe to us, we have been doing so much wrong. But we see that confession at that point, it is of no benefit. Today we're not ready to accept our mistakes. We're not ready to change our ways. But we see that at that time, a person will want another chance. A person will try to repent, but it will be of no use. As Allah says, فَمَا زَالَتْ تِلْكَ دَعْوَاهُمْ. And that declaration of theirs did not cease. حَتَّى جَعَلْنَاهُمْ. Until we made them حَصِيدًا خَامِدِينَ. As a harvest that is mowed down, extinguished like a fire. فَمَا زَالَتْ. زَالَت from زَي, ya, lam, زَيْل, zawal from the same root, which is to cease to exist. So مَا زَالَت, it did not cease, it did not stop. Meaning they continued to say, تِلْكَ دَعْوَاهُمْ, this da'wah of theirs, this statement of theirs, this declaration of theirs. What declaration? That إِنَّا كُنَّا ظَالِمِينَ. They kept on saying this statement, حَتَّى جَعَلْنَاهُمْ حَصِيدًا خَامِدِينَ, until they were completely finished. حَصِيدًا, حَصَادًا. And حَصِيد is used for such field that has been mown down before time. What does it mean? It has been destroyed. Like for example, if you have a plant on which, let's say, tomatoes grow, and the tomatoes are very small, they're green. If at that time you take the tomatoes off, or if at that time you cut the plant off, what good is that plant? It's of no use. It has been destroyed. Whereas when the tomatoes have turned red, then you take them off. And when winter comes and the plant has produced all of its fruit, then you pull it out of the ground. Then it's meaningful. So haseed is destroyed field. A field that is destroyed. It has been mowed down. It has been cultivated before time. Therefore it is laying, chopped up, broken, bruised. And khamideen, plural of khamid, khumud is the extinguishing of the fire. And you see, when fire has been extinguished, everything becomes calm and quiet, still. So where there was so much life, where there was so much energy, where the streets were busy, they were full, there were people going here and there, so much noise, so much light, so much heat, all of that gone, khamideen. Death did not spare them. Their time was not increased. The angels did not show any mercy. The fact is that when death comes, then the angel of death only leaves after taking the soul. No matter what a person does at that time, whether he confesses, or he tries to make a deal with the angel of death, or he tries somehow to escape from death, no, he cannot escape. The angel of death comes only to take the soul, and he does not leave until he takes the soul with him. فَمَا زَالَتْ تِلْكَ دَعْوَاهُمْ حَتَّى جَعَلْنَاهُمْ حَصِيدًا خَامِدِينَ. So what do these ayat show to us? That the same dunya that people are so engrossed by, this dunya becomes meaningless when death approaches a person. The same dunya that has distracted a person so much, it will cause a person great regret when he dies. وَمَا خَلَقَنَا السَّمَاءَ وَالْأَرْضَ. And we have not created the sky and the earth. وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا. And whatever that is between them two. لَاعِبِينَ, as ones at play. لَاعِبِينَ is a plural of لَاعِب. And who is لَاعِب? One who is busy playing. From the same root is the word لُعْبَة, which is used for a doll. So, we have not created the heavens and the earth and all that is between the two just for play. No. The heavens and the earth, what is between them, is not a play of the one who plays. This has not been created for amusement. This has not been created without a purpose. It is not the result of a play that is destroyed at the end once the play is over. Like for example, a person goes to the beach, he makes a sandcastle, and before he leaves, what does he do? He breaks it down himself. The heavens and the earth and all that is between is not as meaningless as that sandcastle. No. All of this has been created for a purpose. So don't think that if people live and die, this is just a play. This is purposeless. This is without a reason. That if people feel happiness, if they suffer loss, if they suffer from grief, if they experience so many emotions, if oppression is done, if justice is done, all of this is a part of a play. It's meaningless, it's purposeless. No. Don't think that the hereafter is like someone who has been playing for a long time and once their play is over, they finish what they were playing with. They put an end to it. No. وَمَا خَلَقْنَا السَّمَاءَ وَالْأَرْضَ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا لَاعِبِينَ. لَوْ أَرَادْنَا, if we wanted, أَن نَتَّخِذَ لَهُوًا, that we should take some lahu, that we should take a diversion to distract us, to occupy us, then what would we do? لَاتَّخَذْنَاهُ مِن لَدُنَّا. Then surely we would have taken it from us. Meaning that we would have done something else. إِن كُنَّا فَاعِلِينَ, if we really want to do. Meaning then why would we make you? Or why would we make the heavens and the earth and give it to you to play? No. If we really wanted to amuse ourselves with something, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then what would He do? He would have done something that would really amuse Him. He would not have created the earth and made it subjected to human beings. Then He would not make people and animals and various types of creation who go through life and death, who go through happiness and misery, who go through good times and bad times. No. Allah is not unfair. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made all of this for a purpose. And if there is a purpose, this is why there is paradise and hell. And He did not make all of this uselessly. No, there is a reason behind that. It's far above His majesty that He would make the heavens and the earth, and finally He would make a day of judgment, and then He would make paradise and hell, all just for a play. No, there is a reason behind all of this. بَلْ نَقْذِفُ بِالْحَقِّ عَلَى الْبَاطِلِ. Rather we dash the truth upon falsehood. نَقْذِفُ, from the root letters قاف, ذال, فا, قذف. And qadhf is to hurl something, to toss something, fling, to dash, to launch. So we launch bil-haqqi, the truth, against what? Against the falsehood. And when the truth is launched against the falsehood, then what happens? فَيَدْمَغُهُ, then it nullifies it, then it frustrates it. يَدْمَغُ from the root letters dal, mim, ghain, damagha. And damagha literally is to strike the brain. It is to hit the brain. And you can imagine, if the brain gets hit, then definitely it's going to be a fatal blow. A person is going to die. Because the brain is so protected inside the skull, which is such a hard piece of the body, such a hard bone. It's fully protected. And if somebody manages to go through the skull and strike the brain, then a person cannot survive. So, damagha yadmaghu is used for a fatal blow, a violent blow. So, بَلْ نَقْذِفُ بِالْحَقِّ عَلَى الْبَاطِلِ فَيَدْمَغُهُ. We launch the truth against the falsehood, and what does the truth do to the falsehood? It completely destroys it. It nullifies it. It invalidates it. فَإِذَا هُوَ زَاهِقٌ. And then what happens to falsehood once it has been nullified? Zahiq, it leaves, it disappears, it passes away. وَلَكُمُ الْوَيْلُ. And for you is destruction. مِمَّا تَصِفُونَ. Because of what you ascribe. Because of how you describe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How do the people describe Allah? That He created the heavens and the earth? Just for play. He created all of this for no reason. So when a person says something like this is attributing wrong things to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this claim, Allah refutes it. How? That al-haq, the truth is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created all of this for a reason. And falsehood is the people's claim that it has been created without a reason. So Allah launches the truth against the falsehood, and the falsehood is invalidated, and then it must leave. وَلَكُمُ الْوَيْلُ مِمَّا تَصِفُونَ. وَلَهُ مَنْ فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. And to Him belongs whoever is in the heavens and the earth. He is their owner. He is their creator. And they are all servants to Him. وَمَنْ عِنْدَهُ. And those who are with Him, those who are near Him, meaning the angels, لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِهِ. They're not arrogant from worshipping Him. وَلَا يَسْتَحْسِرُونَ. Nor do they tire. The angels, those who are muqarrab to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِهِ. They're not too arrogant to worship Allah. Where is the human being? What does he think? He thinks he's too great to worship Allah. He thinks he's too great to follow the footsteps of the Prophet ﷺ. That he should believe in the Prophet. That he should follow the commands that Allah has given. But those who are muqarrab, those who are so high, the elite angels, Allah describes them and He says, they are not arrogant. They're humble. وَلَا يَسْتَحْسِرُونَ. Nor do they get bored of worshipping Allah. يَسْتَحْسِرُونَ is from hasira. And hasra, what does that mean? Regret. And istihsar is to feel tired, to feel run down, to feel fatigued. What's the connection between regret, between hasra, and to feel tired? You see, when a person regrets too much, doesn't he become tired? He does. And when a person has been tired, when a person has done too much work, and he gets very tired, then at the end, doesn't he feel regret? Yes. That why did I do so much? I'm so exhausted now, that I can't even do the basic things. So istihsar is to feel fatigued, it is to feel bored, to feel run down. So, لَا يَسْتَحْسِرُونَ, the angels, they do not become bored of worshipping Allah. That despite the fact that they do so much ibadah, they don't feel bored. So in this ayah, a noble quality of the angels is mentioned. That despite the very high rank that they possess. What is the very high rank? That عِنْدَهُ, they're near Him. They're not arrogant. They do not refuse. They do not think that they're too great. On the contrary, they're always worshipping Allah. And they never, ever tire. يُسَبِّحُونَ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارَ. They exalt Him. They glorify Allah. When? During the night and also during the day. The night and the day. What does it mean? Endlessly. لَا يَفْتُرُونَ. They do not slacken. They do not take a break. يَفْتُرُونَ from the root letters فَاتَرَ. And fatra is a gap. Fatratul wahi. What is fatratul wahi? The gap that was between the wahi, between the revelation. So لَا يَفْتُرُونَ. they do not take any breaks. They do not slacken. They do not slow down. Rather, they engage in the worship of Allah uninterruptedly. They do tasbih as easily as we breathe. So when there's so many angels who are worshipping Allah, does Allah need our worship? Does Allah need our ibadah? No. So don't think that He created you so that you worship Him because He needs your ibadah. No. He does not even need your ibadah. What happens to us? If we worship Allah during the day, we cannot stay up during the night. If we stay up during the night, then we have to sleep during the day. But the angels, يُسَبِّحُونَ اللَّيْلَ وَالنَّهَارِ. We are limited. We are weak. And our worship compared to the worship of the angels is so less, is so limited. And sometimes what happens, we're worshipping, we are reciting the Quran, perhaps we're praying salah, but our heart is not involved. We get bored. We get tired. We pray the fard, and in the sunnah we get bored. But the angels, لا يستحسرون, لا يفترون. So does Allah need our ibadah at all? He does not. If we worship Him, it's for our benefit. Recitation. We think لا يستكبرون, that the angels do not do istikbar, and people, they do istikbar. Which people? It's the non-Muslims, people who don't believe in Allah, people who don't worship Allah. They're arrogant to worship Him. They're arrogant to prostrate before Him. But we see that many times, it's even within us Muslims, that there is istikbar when it comes to the worship of Allah. That we think what we're doing is enough. What we're doing is sufficient. And we don't need to worship more. This is istikbar. Because if we truly believe that Allah is Akbar, that Allah is the greatest, then we would remain constantly in the worship of Allah. We would not think that what we have done is enough and we don't need to do any more. What do we learn? That وَقَالَ رَبُّكُمُ ادْعُونِي أَسْتَجِبُ لَكُمْ. That your Lord has said, pray to me and I will respond to you. And إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ عَنْ عِبَادَتِي سَيَدْخُلُونَ جَهَنَّمَ دَاخِرِينَ. That those who are arrogant from worshipping Allah, they will be admitted into hellfire, abased and humiliated. If you notice, first dua is mentioned and then refusal to worship is mentioned. Allah tells us, make dua to me. And those who don't do dua to Allah, this is a part of arrogance. This is out of arrogance. Because a person who is really humble before Allah, that he will pray to Allah for the littlest of things even. But unfortunately we think we don't need to pray. We have everything. What did we learn from the story of Zakaria alayhi salam? Was his state not known to Allah? Of course it was known to Allah. But still he mentioned it. Why? Because it's a part of ibadah to make dua, to put out your state before Allah, to show submissiveness, to show humility, to show that, oh Allah, I need you. So لا يستكبرون عن عبادته. The angels are not arrogant from the worship of Allah. There is a great lesson in this for us as well. That the angels, لا يستحسرون, لا يفترون, they constantly engage in the worship of Allah. And what do we think? We do the smallest of things and we think we've done such great things and we don't need to do any more. We see that people, they're busy la'ibeen, lahiyatan qulubuhum, and the angels, they're busy worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we also see that where the human beings, they must worship Allah for their own benefit because they have been created for this. For them, hisab is coming. Still they're turning away. The angels, is there hisab for them? Is there accountability for them? No, but still they're worshipping Allah. And remember that when a human being, when he busies himself in the worship of Allah, when he becomes a righteous servant of Allah, then his rank becomes higher than that of the angels. There are some angels who, from the moment they have been created, they are doing sajda, never to get up. There are some who are constantly in ruku', never to get up. Constantly they're engaged in the worship of Allah. They don't say, it's been so long, I'm so tired, let me get up now, let me do something else. Constantly engage in the worship of Allah. And on the Day of Judgment, when they see Allah, they will say, we have not given the haqq of your ibadah. Despite the fact that for all of their existence, they were in the worship of Allah. Then what do we have to say? You see, when you do something as a chore, then even if you have to do it for 2 minutes, it becomes very difficult. You get bored after just 2 minutes. When you take something as a chore, when you take something as a burden. But when you do something from your heart, then even when you spend hours, you don't get bored. You don't get tired. You will forget to eat, you will forget to get up, you will forget to lie down, you will not want to sleep because you're so busy in what you're doing, you're enjoying it so much. So when we're doing our lesson, when we're doing our work, at that time also we should think that if I really take it from my heart, if I really value this, if I really enjoy it, then it will not become a burden for me. Then doing my lesson 7 times will not be a chore. I will enjoy it. Thinking that every time I read, I'm getting reward. If you think of it, the time that we had the 7 times lesson as a group activity that everybody had to do it, and if one person would not do it, then everybody would get affected by it. Everyone was so particular, wasn't it? And I'm sure even when you were tired, even when you were exhausted, you did anything that you could possibly to make sure you were doing your lesson 7 times. But when that phase is over, now what? Should we go back to doing it just 3 times, 2 times, 1 time? If you really do it as ibadah, remember it will not be a chore. If you do it from your heart, it will not be difficult. Right now, perhaps you don't see the need. You don't see the importance. But remember that after the course, you will realize the importance. You will see the benefit. Because those who used to do their lesson 7 times regularly, even now if you ask them, they know their lesson. Even if many years have gone by. And those who did it 2 times, 3 times, 1 time, yes, they got by the course. But later on, they have forgotten. They don't know the Qur'an as well. If you do it from your heart, you will enjoy every moment, every word, every letter. And if you don't do it from your heart, it'll be a burden. Even 1 time will be a burden. Even 2 times will be a burden. 7 times, a huge burden. So we should take a lesson from this. That the angels, لا يستكبرون. They don't think that they don't need this anymore. Similarly, we shouldn't think that we don't need it anymore. لا يستحسرون. They don't get weary. They don't get tired. They don't get bored. لا يفترون. They don't become lazy. They don't slacken off. Why? Because the heart is involved. And when the heart is involved, then what you do becomes extremely easy for you.